Hello guys, in this video I will talk about XPath and why should we use it. XPath is really powerful when locating complex locator strategies and also creating dynamic locators. So you sometimes may create some functions and providing some input, and then based on that input you locate or you select a locator, and XPath helps here a lot. I think this video will provide you all you need to know about XPath information, and I think it will be a really powerful knowledge, and it will foster your automation experience in the future. Because sometimes you may face some challenge that you cannot find locators by Playwright in this case, or any other automation tool, or CSS locators won't work. So if you know XPath, then XPath will come into the rescue in these cases. This article is great explaining XPath, even though it's in XPath in Selenium. XPath works in general because it is an XML path which is used for navigation through an HTML structure, so through the document object model, but also it can be used in the XML documents. The syntax is simple, so you can select a current node with 2 slashes, then you can give a tag name like it is a div, an input, an image, or a source, or anything else. And then after that, in the brackets, you can select an attribute like a name or a placeholder, an ID, or a class, and then you can give the value. But before we take an example, I'll go through the types of XPath. We have absolute XPaths and we have relative XPaths. Absolute XPaths are like this. So they are specifically absolute for a specific element in the DOM, but they are not recommended because first, they are hard to read, and they are really brittle. So let's suppose that you got the absolute XPath of an element and it is like this, so it is nested, and something here changes, like this div becomes a paragraph or something like that, then the entire absolute XPath won't work. So that's why these are not recommended. I just want to let you know that this type of XPath exists, but I wouldn't recommend you using it. We will use relative XPaths, which help us build these dynamic locators. So let's say that, let's go here, and let's say that we want to select something in this full name. So we want to select this placeholder. And as you can see, this is a node of input. So if you write here input, it will find out all input types within the page, and then in the brackets, in this case, we can specify the attribute. So let's say it is a placeholder, and now we want to get an attribute of a placeholder with the value of full name. Then we will just specify the full name, and you can see that it located the full name. Now let's say we want to get this image here, and as you can see, there are, like, it doesn't have a class or it doesn't have an ID or something like that, but we need to uniquely locate it. All we can do is specify the node, which is image, so the tag is image. Then we specify the attribute, which is source in this case, and then we specify the value. So the value is here. We select this, we put this here, and as you can see, it located this image. So this is the dynamicity of the XPath, and we will now go through some other features of XPath. So yeah, anything that you want to select, you provide the tag name, you provide an attribute, and you provide a value. and this works with ID, class name, link text, anything that exists on the document object model. So this was the basic XPath that we practiced. Now XPath also have a contains function. What this means is that if you want to find something that contains something, you can do it with XPath, and that doesn't mean that, like, when you write it contains, it will you don't have to write the full value of something. You can write just the half of it, and that means that if it contains that, then playwright will find it. How can we practice that? Let me find a class here, for example. Let's see, this has an RCT text class, and if we want to locate it, this is a span in this case, and now we can write contains within, and then we open the parentheses here, and now if we want to contain a class or to find the class, we write the class attribute and then a comma, and then within here we write the name of the class. Let's see, this class has this RCT. So if we wanted to find all the elements that contain this class, we RCT within the class, we just could write RCT, and as you can see, it finds all the elements that contain that class. And then if you want to go further, just title. So there is only one class with title, and it found that. This is also helpful when we want to find something that contains some text. Let me explain that. So if you want to find something that contains some text, we write also the contains and then the text function within, and then within the text function we write the text. So we want to find something that contains the text home, there is it, or just home. So yeah, this is the powerfulness of the contains. So you can find anything that contains this text, and you can also like find something that contains a div, an ID, or anything that you have here. Another thing that you can combine with XPath is the or and logic. So let's say that we want to find something that either contains the RCT title class or the home text. And if we want to do that, let's just do the same thing. And within here, we provide the class. And then we write the OR logic. In the OR logic, we want also to have a contains function, which says that it should contain some text, and the text should be home. So yeah, in this case, this is an OR. So if one of these conditions fulfills, then it will work. It will find. So if I even write a wrong class, it will still find this locator because we have the home text, which is true. But if you write both of them wrong, then it will not find. Now let's say that this is an AND, so both of the conditions should fulfill in order for this to work. You write here AND, it will find because there is a home within this span, a home text, and also there is an RCT title. But if one of these is wrong, then we will find nothing, because this is an AND condition. So you can also combine these with AND and OR, and that's why XPath is powerful. Some other features that XPath has is this starts with, so you can find something that starts with an ID, that starts with this message, and this will come in hand later. You will have cases when you will need something like you have an ID which differs with the numbers, but you want to locate all the elements that start with ID message. You can use this start with, and also this text function that I practiced is really helpful here. You can also find something based on the following element, like you locate some class, but then you want to find the input that is below that class. You can use this following function here. You have the ancestor here, you have a child here. So I recommend you reading this, but I want to point out XPath locators because you cannot do everything with Playwright and CSS locators, like text locators. You will need XPath. So it is really recommended, so you have an idea how XPath works, and I think this video will provide that, but I recommend you read the full article. And you can also visit this anytime you need to find the XPath locator. It doesn't mean like you have to learn this by heart. So that is it for XPath. Yeah, so an example can be, if you want to put this locator within the Playwright, just copy it, and there is nothing that differs in the way we get the Playwright locators. The XPath locator, it's the same thing. You just write await page dot locator, and within this you just paste this, and it will work. So there is nothing extra that you have to specify. The Playwright engine will know that this is an XPath locator. So that is it all, and thank you. See you on the next video.